Hi friends, it's Jennifer Sasaki, your favorite Stampin' Up demonstrator. How are we all tonight? I'm just trying to find my Facebook Live, turning down my volume, and who's ready to make a witch's hat? Isn't that funny how that stuff fit? What I'm showing you is the card class I'm going to do on October 3rd. And I found out recently, October 3rd is National Card Making Day. What? I know. I have another light I'm trying to add, but I'm trying to find the cord for it. And all I remember is it's a white cord. So I don't think I'm going to get that lucky. Shoot. Gonna work. Anyways. So I was going to try to light this up a little bit more. You know, I have a lot of light on this, but I just can't seem to get it brighter. There, okay, well, we'll get that worked out before next time. So, if you are here tonight, I will try to pay attention to comments. Give me a shout out. So what I have here are 6 Halloween themed cards. So this is a card, 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 and this is a card. So that's 6 cards. Then this can be either a box or it can be that exploding box I demonstrated last week. So I made an exploding box, of course. So that would be in the kit. Really cute, isn't it? And then there's this really pretty gift box. So if you wanted to give something to someone a little more, and they don't have to tear up this wrapping to open the package. So like this stays intact, it just slides in like so. So all of this we would be making at the class. So I'm offering the class 2 ways. I am going to offer it in my house on October 3rd. I can socially distance about 6 people. So that is one possibility if you're here locally in Las Vegas. And then the other possibility is I filmed myself making most of this. And if you want to just do it online, I'll have PDFs and videos of how to make this stuff. So what is required of you? Well, glad you asked. You will need obviously this Magic in the Night bundle pretty much, because I've used everything in the kit. In the bundle. So I would say you definitely need that. If you don't have a die cutting machine, I don't want that to stop you. I will come up with a fee for me die cutting the items out, and I will mail them to you. Since the class is supposed to happen October 3rd, you would want to order this stuff in the next week or so. Because you'll want 2 weeks, for sure a week of time before the class. Because, you know, like, I don't know, it seems like the mail's gotten slower and slower. We'll say this is the fancy card. So this card opens up like that. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, you can see all the sparkles. I really think these cards are cute. This card, I die cut it through the front and it opens like that. This card came out really pretty too, and it opens like that. this card opens like this, and this card like that. And then this one is like a stand. So once you open it, it catches on the fencing on the bottom, and it does this little stand. So I think that one came out really cute. Plus you get the two 3D type gifts box. So that's the kit, or that's the class, the card class I'm offering at the end or the beginning of October 3rd. So if you're here in Las Vegas, you could come to it. If you are not in Las Vegas, or if you don't want to, you want a social distance, which, hey, I agree completely. I've been social distancing. You would want to, I can send you the PDFs and the videos, or I can link them on a page and give you access. So we'll figure out all the logistics on that as soon as I see some orders coming in for this. So this is called Magic in the Night Suite, and this suite comes with, the suite set comes with 12 sheets of this designer series paper, so that's all double-sided. So there's actually there's 12 different designs because there's 6 double-sided sheets. So these are all the patterns you get. They're really cute. It comes with an embossing folder that does cobwebs. It's the size of a card, so it's 4.5 by 6.25, sorry, is the embossing plate. It comes with the stamp set and the die cut set. The only part that saves any money on the bundle price is this 10% if you buy these as a bundle. If you don't have a die cutting machine, don't buy the die cuts because you won't be able to use them unless you're going to buy a die cutting machine. Then there's this metallic mesh ribbon, which is really pretty, and you get 10 yards of that. So that's actually quite a bit of ribbon. If you ever buy ribbon, you'll know on spools it normally does not come that much. Here is iridescent pearls. I use those on the spiders a lot. Trying to find my little basket of goodies. Put everything. Okay, so when I sit down to stamp a thing, I like to play with all the toys. So here's me embossing a bunch of, here's the spider I wanted to show you. So it kind of gives it that black widowy, well not, you know, it just gives it a little bulginess to the spider. So I think it looks cute, and especially with the black and embossing with the silver. So if you do want to do the kit, I would say make sure that you can emboss. I think the silver comes out the nicest. The gold, here's a sample of some gold embossing. So the gold is pretty. It just doesn't have enough, to me, Halloween-y feel. Plus, you're working with a silver mesh ribbon already, so it just goes in line with the silver embossing powder. So Stampin' Up does carry a embossing powder also. And then a lot of stuff was popped up on the dimensionals, and these are black dimensionals, so they hide very nicely. Let me find something that's popped up. So like this is popped up, you don't even notice it, whereas if they were white you might notice them more. So just, and then you get 2 sheets of black glitter paper, which this was the glitter paper. If you can come to my house, you could use the die cuts at my house. I don't mind sharing my product. You could also use my stamp set if you wanted, but you would need the other items. And then also, in order to have the class be free to you, it would be a $50 minimum order for that. So, which leads me up to, this is my store website, and this is my hostess code for September 2020. You definitely would need to have this ordered no later than September 20th. So if your order's under $150, use this host code, and what that does is as a collective we'll get free product. And I will share that free product with anyone who is ordering with this host code. That's the store, so that's where you want to order to get credit with me. And these are the colors that go with that you would want to make sure you have is the Pretty Peacock, Blackberry Bliss, Cajun Craze, and Basic Black. So for most of the stamping, I used the Versamark ink pad because I mostly did embossing. The other thing I did, excuse me, is I used the Memento Tuxedo Black for when I did black inking. So let me show you when I might have deviated. So on here, this is, so you would use the Versamark with the rubber stamp, and then you would put the embossing powder. That's how that gets created. Inside, I used the I used Blackberry Bliss ink for this stamp impression, and then the spiders were done in black, the Memento ink. On this, the Happy Halloween was made with the Memento ink. There's no embossing on that. I used a silver pigment ink to emboss. I inked the embossing folder and created this cobweb. And then this is the pumpkin pie ink I used inside, and again the Memento black here. And then this one I used the pumpkin pie ink to stamp, because this is vellum. The ink doesn't dry right away on vellum. So then I was able to emboss this with clear embossing powder. And here I stamped right there the trick or treat. So these bats were embossed with the silver embossing powder. So these are things you just want to keep in mind when you're figuring out if you want to come to the class or do the class online. You're going to want definitely a form of embossing powders, because the colors are very dark, so you can't really stamp directly on them. So this is really cute. This is the silver foil, and they ran it through the embossing folder and got the cobwebs on it and put it in a picture frame. Both these set of bats and this set of bats, let me come down. Those are stamped and then embossed with gold or silver. It looks like that was embossed, that writing, that stamp set right there. These were embossed with white embossing powder. And then here they're showing you how they made the spiders with the Whisper White paper, black ink, and then used the dots on top. So there's a lot more you can make than just the kit that I came up with, or the collection I came up with. Tonight we're going to make a witch's hat. So the witch's hat I took a picture of was a hat I made a few years ago. This hat is so big I'm going to have to come up. So this hat, this is not Stampin' Up paper, but tonight I'll be using this Magic in the Night Designer Series paper. So I learned how to make this on Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creation. Tammy is she's the owner of Country Craft Creation, and her and her designers create wonderful things, and this is one of the things they created a few years ago, and I wanted to show you tonight using the Stampin' Up paper how to create this hat. It's a really cute decor item for your upcoming Halloween decorations. So instead of the black sparkle tool, we're going to use the silver mesh ribbon, and we'll get started on this. The other thing I wanted to mention before we get started on the hat is the last couple weeks I've talked about Paper Pumpkin. So Paper Pumpkin is a monthly subscription that comes in the mail. It gives you, it can vary. It can give you a card set. It could give you what else? Oh, last month's was some Champions thing. I didn't really make the kit. I wasn't that crazy about it. But what I will tell you is this one, the one that's going to, So the last day to pay for or subscribe to Paper Pumpkin is September 10th for this October one. But for the next 3 months, I'm sorry, for this September kit. So for the next 3 months are the best, to me, sorry, my opinion, are the best Paper Pumpkins that come out. Now, there's a couple of good ones. Also, I shouldn't say there's some good ones the rest of the year too to me, but these are the best because these are these 3 months. I'm probably very common to everyone else is they're your favorite months of the year. I mean, they are mine, so that's why I'm saying these are the best. So, so this Paper Pumpkin is supposed to be. Says this kit has something for everyone in the season. It's a dual-purpose kit. The autumn-themed treat packages are perfect to bring the joy of the season to any occasion. But if you're a Halloween lover, this kit has just the right amount of spook to make your Halloween-themed treat package pop. Now you can enjoy the season in 2 different ways. So like the Paper Pumpkins are kind of like a mystery box. You don't really know what you're going to get. But I can tell you, you're going to get a stamp set. You're going to get a little ink spot. And then the rest of it is who knows what. But you'll get whatever you need to make the kit or the items that they want you to make. But you can also use it to make your own idea. Like you can take their idea and turn it into something else. We call them the Paper Pumpkin alternative ideas. So when I receive mine, I will go live and show you what we're going to make. But I will let you know that once September 10th passes, you cannot order this. So if you're watching me when I do it and you're like, oh man, I wish I would have ordered it. Yeah. You can't order it after. So so that's how the subscription works. But this month will be Halloween fall. Next month is probably going to do something with fall, Thanksgiving, and the following month will probably be Christmas or holiday, Christmas. Seasonal for that type of celebration. I'm not going to say it's Christmas because that's not politically correct anymore, but it's something for gift giving. How's that? But these, how they say pop, they're supposed to be a cracker, you know, those European cracker things. So I'm not exactly sure what they're going to look like as a cracker, but that was the hint we were given. So I know nothing more than what I see here, and there was some verbiage about it being a cracker. What I'm trying to tell you, you don't want to miss this. This is going to be a great Paper Pumpkin. Paper Pumpkins are $22 a month if you just subscribe for the monthly. And you can cancel the subscription and you can hold a subscription for a month anytime you want. 3 months prepaid is $63, so that comes out to $21. You can buy the prepaid subscriptions through my store website. And then after you pay for it, you have to then go into the Paper Pumpkin subscription and apply it. That's how you save the money. The 6-month prepaid comes out to $19 a month per subscription. And then the 12-month is buy 11 months, get the 12th month free, or $18.33 each. However you need to look at it. So these are really good ways of getting it. But you can also do the monthly $22 and get the Paper Pumpkin. And you can hold it, you can cancel it, whatever works for you. So this, I really think if you like Halloween or you want something fall but you don't want to be overly committed to something, this is a great way to do it. It just gives you a little bit of a package so you can have some fun. So in my opinion, you don't want to miss out on the Halloween, the next 3 months really, because that's when you're doing the most visiting. And okay, next, this month, the month of September, Stampin' Up! Has a special promotion if you are interested in becoming either a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator or what we call a VIP customer. So they're actually the same thing, except the VIP customer doesn't want to sell the stuff and they only want to do it for their personal use. So in this month of September, you're going to get 2 extra stamp sets. So you're going to get the Queen Anne's Lace stamp set and So Much Love stamp set. So that's pretty good. You get 2 stamp sets, and these are both probably about a $20 stamp set. So that's $40, plus you get a pack of rhinestones, which is about $7, and you get enough Granny Apple green card and Coastal Cabana cards. So you get 8 pre-cut paper packs to make 8 cards. So that's a pretty nice set. In addition to this, you get to choose $125 worth of product. So the cost is $99 plus tax. They do not charge you shipping for this, and you get like 8 catalogs in there. You get everything you need to start out as a demonstrator, which is, if you're a VIP customer, maybe you hand out a couple of catalogs to your friends and they help you meet your minimum quarterly orders, and you can become a VIP. You can be in that VIP where you get the discount, which is a 20% discount on product, and you get $125 worth of free product. Well, free versus the $99, and you get these 2 free stamp sets. This promotion's only through the end of September, and then maybe there's another one in October. I don't know. We'll find out. Okay, so that was everything I wanted to share with you. So if I haven't beat it in your head yet, order the paper pumpkin. I don't think you'll regret it. So now on to the witch's hat. So if you don't have your hot glue gun plugged in, get that plugged in because you're gonna need it. These I think they're called yo-yos. And the best way to adhere these yo-yos is with hot glue. So that's why you're going to want to use hot glue. Any other adhesive will not dry fast enough to make it work. So, all right, so let's get started. So in my Facebook posting, I said you're going to need 2 sheets of 12 by 12. So this one I'm going to use for the cone of my hat, and this one I'm going to use for the first yo-yo. And then you need a sheet of 6 by 12, so this will be my second layer of yo-yo. And then I was going to use these as I think I was going to try to make a smaller layer of yo-yo, or maybe I'll do streamers coming down from the top of the hat. You also need either a large square, or if you have a large circle punch or something that could get you a big circle. This is a 3.5 inch circle. So what we need to do is on the very bottom of our giant yo-yo, you're going to need this to hold this yo-yo together. So we're going to hot glue this circle on top after we have this formed. So it doesn't have to be a circle, it can be a square, it can be whatever you have access to. But you want something to get that center, okay? All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is with this cone, with this paper we're gonna make the cone with. Just gonna set everything else aside for now. All right, so this cone, so what you wanna do with the cone, if your paper's real stiff, just kind of roll it up a little bit so the fibers relax. Because yes, we're working with paper fibers. So we just want to get your paper wanting to play right. And take a moment to see if your paper is directional. Mine, I'm not sure. Anyways, so then what you want to do is we're going to start curling it. But when you curl it, you want to kind of keep this edge all up at the top and let it flare out at the bottom. Something like this. And if it's too much flare, tighten it in. Everyone's hat is going to look slightly different. So don't get discouraged if your hat doesn't look like mine. And when it's in this position, if you want a wider fat part here, you still want this part to stay tight. So I'm going to come up a little bit. Maybe you can see more. So And then you can just pull this in as much as you want. Okay, so I'm just holding this tip up here, and then I'm playing with how much I want, how fat I want my hat part. And then there's a white jeeping here, so I'm thinking I might ink that edge real quick. So I'm going to get out some Memento ink. Bring over my bag of goodies. And I'm just going to, because once this is all rolled, this isn't probably the edge. I'll do both edges. Once it's all rolled, it'd be harder to ink this. So I just want... Now remember, you could give this as a gift to someone, but it's just supposed to, you want it to look nice because it's going to be part of your Halloween decorations. And for, less than 3 sheets of Halloween cardstock, that's pretty good. Okay, so let's go ahead and try it again. I have no idea even how I was rolled before. I think I was rolled. Looks like I was rolled here, but I know that wasn't how I was rolled. So let me try to stay in the camera. So all I'm doing is trying to keep this edge up. There we go. So when I have my edge about how I want that, and don't worry about the bottom not being level because we're going to fix that. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give this little area a bit of hot glue. You could use other glues, but you're going to have to hold it longer for drying time. So the hot glue is going to hold that best. So now see how my cone, now I'm letting my cone kind of fit that into, because it wasn't completely tight when I glued it. So now if I don't want my hat that wide, I can bring this cone part in a little smaller, right? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another stream of hot glue right in here, staying close to the edge and not trying to do it too thick. And I'm just letting it mount down. Now I have a little gap right here, so I'm just going to put a little bit more glue in there. There we go. Oops. Well, that worked out good because my top unglued, so I'll just hold that down, and I'm going to run a little bit of glue over here. My little this little plastic mat I have is the 99 cents for the dollar store, those cutting blocks that they sell 2 for $1. It's pretty nice because it has a matted kind of sheen, so it doesn't grab a hold of the light, and it keeps my desktop protected without causing too much distraction. So now what we want to do, you're going to want big scissors for this. Little scissors might not do it as much. You're going to cut this so it's straight. So I hope you can cut straight. So I'm just coming along, and and if you don't get it straight, keep cutting. But don't cut away your whole hat. At one point, just stop and let it be lopsided, please. So there we go. Okay. Then, if that's your scrap, you can save it. Maybe I could probably stamp something with that or put it in the... Then what we want to do is we're going to come along And we're going to cut about a 1/2 inch every inch or so, because this is how we're going to adhere it onto our yo-yo. So I'm only going about a 1/2 inch deep, and about every 3/4 of an inch to an inch width. And there we go. Then you can just fold them up. And just give it a little bend there. You could bend it up more extreme, because then when you go to glue it on your yo-yo, it'll be that much better. Now these pieces that overlap, you could cut off that first layer. No one's gonna see that first layer, and it might make it easier for you to work with. So feel free to, don't leave a lip, that's for sure. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna move on to making the yo-yo. So that first sheet of paper we have, we're going to take out our trimmer, and we are going to cut this into 3 strips. So 3 divided by 12 is 4. So we're going to do 3 4-inch strips. So the strips are going to be 12 by 4. So the directional. So I think I'm going to do these sideways, or landscape. Would that be correct? So I'm going to cut 3 strips 4 inches wide. So that's 1. So there I have my 3 4-inch strips. Okay? Now we can do this with this trimmer. I'll do one with this trimmer, and then we'll move on to the other trimmer because it's going to be faster. Actually, you're going to really want the scoreboard. This would be very difficult because every 1/2 inch you're going to score. Okay, so you're going to lay your designer series paper along the 12 inches, and then at every, oops, wrong. Brought my light down instead of my, okay, so, and at every 1/2 inch, I'm gonna score. Okay, so 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1 1/2, 2, 2 1/2, 3, 3 1/2, 4, 4 1/2, 5, 5 1/2, 6, 6 1/2, 7, 7 1/2, 8, 8 1/2, 9, 9 1/2, 10, 10 1/2, 11, and 11 1/2. Okay? And we're going to do that 2 more times. Oh, you know what? Don't hate me, but you actually should have done that before you cut the paper in the 4 strips. Sorry. I'll go quick. Sorry about that. So if you did this as a full sheet and then cut your 4-inch strips, you would only do this once. And you wouldn't be laughing at me at this moment, which I know you are, but that's okay. Accidents happen. I got so excited that I flipped the steps. Anyways, we'll do it right next time, because, oh yeah, we're going to do this again. So, oops, jumped the track. So just every 1/2 inch, and then we're going to give it an accordion fold. Almost there. Okay. we're gonna set that aside. All right, so then what you want to do is you just want to start folding it as an accordion. So it's down and up, down and up. And I find it easier if you just kind of do this motion. So remember those Chinese fans you used to make when you were a kid? So we're just gonna do that whole down and up. There you go. And we're gonna press it. And you could use your score bone folder. So give it a nice good crease. Let's try the other side. And we're going to do that to all three. I would probably have to recommend that you cut your paper into the 3-inch strips first, or 4-inch strips, because it'd just be a lot. It'd be hard to cut this out with the paper trimmer. All right, and we're just, again, with the fan fold. And my bats are directional, so I want to make sure that, so I'm gonna do that. We'll just, there we go. And then if you want, I started I learned how to move all of my Facebook Live videos onto YouTube. So you can, after this is over, I will be downloading my YouTube video, this Facebook Live, and putting it on YouTube. So you can always catch the replay on Facebook or on YouTube. Okay, so you want to make sure if you have a directional paper that you're in the right direction. So all my bats these are their bottoms. Okay, so to glue it, see how everything's going the same end? So what I really want to do is I'm going to cut off this end so that so I'm just going to be able to glue it to this side, right? So if at this point, what I'm going to use is the dark blue Stampin' Seal. You could also use a wet adhesive or tear-in tape because you want something that's a little strong. Hot glue, I think it would just give it too much bulk. And we're not working with the a time kind of thing. Like the cone, there was already a lot of pressure with the paper being, I want to say, folded into the cone shape. So the paper was already in a stress, so you wanted it to adhere quickly. So that's why we used the hot glue for that one. And then again, we're going to cut off one strip of this. It's so we can just butt up one side, and this white edge, I'm going to ink it again. So in paper, a lot of times the core is white. So you just want to get rid of that edge if you're going to see it. Okay, so I'm just going to put some Stampin' Seal on this guy again. So you saw how I flipped my paper. So just be careful if you're flipping your paper around that you don't adhere it with the wrong orientation going on. Okay, so if they didn't match up completely straight, just trim it so that they are straight. And then what you do with this accordion is it's going to come around into a circle. Let me just trim off this edge because that's going to have to get done anyways before I get it in there. And we'll just ink that edge. Okay, so the goal is to twirl it. Actually, we could just glue it and then twirl it. So let me adhere those two edges. So we're creating a circle with these pieces. There we go. So then just want to bring the centers in like this, okay? So, but what you want to do at this point is you want to be working on your back side. This is when that circle that we made, circle or square, whatever you had, that's how you're going to hold your yo-yo together. Is we're going to hot glue this and stick it on, and it's going to hold all the edges together. You want your center to be as small as possible, because that's what's going to make the tight yo-yo. So what we can do is I have some big hands and it's still not enough. So let's get a good glop of hot glue on here quickly before it dries, and let's stick this on. And then what we can do is add more hot glue. So I'm holding all the sides in while I'm trying to push. I'm going to flip this over so I have a good flat surface on it, and I'm just gently but firmly pushing down. Oh, I'm noticing my nails. I hope you're not noticing my nails. So I did my nails last night. They looked really pretty, and then I decided to soak my feet in the bathtub, and then my nails started lifting because I think I went into the bathtub too soon, or I didn't do a very good job on my nails. I didn't usually take alcohol to the nail after I file, and so 4 of my nails came up. All right, so now see how this circle with the glue is actually holding my yo-yo together. So that's what you want at this point. So hopefully you're at this point with me. We're gonna set that aside, and we're gonna do the smaller yo-yo now. Oh wait, no we're not. We could, but we're going to adhere our hat to the top of our big yo-yo. So how I would do this is I would just get hot glue on a few of these and place your hat down where you want it and get those secured, and then just come along and do the rest. Try to get it in the center. Mine is a little off center by accident, of course, but when I see you guys in real life, I'll say, oh yeah, I totally meant to offset that. So once you have a few of them down, you could probably just lift up the flaps on the ones that aren't down yet. And we'll just come along with some hot glue and get those guys down. So I'm just holding the hat down, so I'm keeping a shape of my hat and getting it all over the place. There we go. And then we're going to come over here and flip these flaps back up. And we'll just take this hot glue gun right here. And we'll stick those. So I'm doing about 4 of those little flaps at a time. Because you know how hot glue dries quick. And this one I have is called a Cool Shot. I usually use this real fancy glue gun I have, but I bought this when I had to go, went to a wedding up in Texas, and I had to make, well, I was asked to make the money box, and I didn't have time before I left to go to Texas, so I made it up there. And I bought everything there. So I just bought this cheap glue gun and uses the tiny glue sticks. But it came out nice. Okay, so now my hat is adhered. How about you? So I just did I just put glue 4 of these tabs at a time and I got my hat on. So hopefully your hat looks, will come out a little bit. Hopefully your hat looks like this by now. And now we're gonna do, this is the 6x12 piece. Now we're gonna need our scoreboard again. And this time I didn't cut it. We're gonna cut this into 4 1.5 inch strips. Again, we're gonna do the 1/2 inch. So every 1/2 inch, we are going to score down. So I'm at 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5, 9, 9.5, 10, 10.5, 11, and 11.5. Okay, so now is when you should trim the paper. So before I got so excited about what we were doing, that I had you trim the paper before. So we want 4 strips this time because these strips are going to sit on the outside, and so it's going to be a wider circumference. So we're going to do 1.5 inches. Okay, and then we're gonna do that fancy fold. I'm gonna sit, since we're gonna do 4 strips of this. Okay, so we are going to, same thing, every other plot. My spiders are, they are directional. So that's why I did already have my sheet cut the correct way for my strips. So again, I'm working with landscape direction. I'm just giving that a good press. You could use your bone folder again. This is such a small strip. I don't know if it'd make a difference. So, and then again with the fan fold. And what, oh, I know what I wanted that black glitter strips for. I'm gonna make a yo-yo flower on the side of her hat, cause you know, a woman always, even a witch, wants a little bling in her life. Okay, so again, just giving that a good squash. 2 more to go. I was trying to get the teal paper to work in that too. I just couldn't get the color combination, but this one, where is it? Oh. See that paper? That could have been a pretty hat too, but I just didn't imagine a witch having a hat like that. But maybe you do. And then there's this, that would have been pretty too. So it's like, there's a lot to choose from. And then if you have the glitter black tulle, like my sample, that's pretty. But I think this silver mesh is going to be pretty too, so. Okay, 1 more strip and I'm done. I hope you're still with me. I hope you are still with me. There we go. Look at that. Ta-da! Okay, so now, good, I did. Okay, so I tried to alternate my fan folds, making sure my spiders are all going to go in the right direction. So again, oh, maybe my spiders shouldn't be going up. Maybe they should be coming out. That would be creepier, huh? Alright, let's turn the direction on that. Okay, so I'm just going to try to line these up in a way so that I don't have to cut, if possible. Oh, look at that. Okay. So I was alternating how I was fan folding, and now I don't have to cut. So we're going to, I'm going to put some more adhesive on here. Oh, sorry, there was the dogs. My son's probably home. The dogs bark whenever they come home. Okay, so now just put some Stampin' Seal on this bad boy. And pop this one on. Again, you could ink these edges. See how quickly I get over it? And we're going to ink this, or not ink, we're going to add that Stampin' Seal on here. And then we are going to do these two. Just finishing our circle. And see how mine is a little big right there? So I'm just gonna make it go away so you couldn't really tell. So I just kind of cut it on a diagonal till it no longer looked like that. Okay, so again, we're gonna do this, but we're not gonna glue it this time. This one gets a little tricky. So we are doing this kind of concept, but we're gonna do it around our witch's hat. So that's where the tricky part comes in. Because we don't want it super tight in the center like our big one. We're going to have a hole in the center because the hat's going to be there. So maybe 3 would have been enough, but I don't know. We'll make it, it'll just be a tight, I wanted it tight, so I feel like I have a lot of space. And then what we're going to do is that silver mesh is going to come in the center between here and the hat. And okay, so let's get some glue going. So I'm going to stick with that 4-tab kind of rule again because I don't want to work with too much hot glue. And I'm just pushing it in towards the hat. And holding it till it feels like the glue kind of cooled. Don't want too much movement. Alright, and then I'm going to come in with, oh, I need more glue sticks. So if you're into scrapbooking and making mini albums and folios, and you have never heard of Country Craft Creations, you should check out their Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations, their Facebook page. That's where I learned how to do this hat. Like I told you before, I've been a paper crafter for nearly 30 years, and I just love it. So I got into making mini albums, folios, pretty much anything. If you can fold and glue paper into a shape, which is kind of funny because then you think, oh, you must love origami. I'm not really an origami person. I think I like it to have functionality versus just making something. So that's why I like this witch's hat. I think this witch's hat is so cute because it's just so such a cute, And you can embellish this so many ways. You know, I can't imagine someone not loving this hat. Maybe not loving this part. This is a little trickier. It's not as easy as that first one where you just stick that circle on there. Really have to work with it. There we go. But I'm in the final stage of my hat. So I hope you've gotten this far with me. I hope you haven't thrown your hands up in the air and out of frustration or anything, because these hats are adorable. You could even, well, I wouldn't. You could fill a cone with candy and then give it to a kid, but then be prepared to watch them tear it open for the candy. So that's maybe not a good idea. Okay, so now I have this part of my hat done. Looking good. Isn't that cute? So simple and cute, isn't it? You really have to try to make this. If you're not making it tonight with me, please watch this again. 3 sheets of 12 by 12 paper and, well, 2.5 sheets of 12 by 12 paper, hot glue, a circle, some extra goodies for some more decorating. So, okay, one more time with that scoreboard, please. And we're going to make a pretty rosette flower. And then we'll get into all the decorating fun. All right? Let's make a pretty rosette flower for this witch. She wants to be beautiful. So we're going to do 1/2 inch. This is the glitter paper that comes with the bundle if you order the suite. Otherwise, I think it's $5, 2 sheets for $5. So again, I'm scoring at every 1/2 inch. This is not, the paper is 12 by 12, but I was using a scrap I already had. So I cut 2 strips and I'm just gonna make it work. That's how I do a lot of things, and just make it work. We'll see how big my flower comes out with, what are these, 8.5 inch sheets, strips. I did cut them 1 inch, so they're 1 inch by 8.5 inch. But definitely if you have 12 inch, use a 12 inch strip. The more creases you have, the tighter you can get the yo-yo. I'm pretty sure these things are called yo-yos. The more you can, tighter you can get this thing. So again, we're doing the fan fold. And we're gonna adhere. I had a little lip left over, so mine was like a little bit over. I was going to use those little tabs for gluing. And this one's a little thicker, so I might just use hot glue gun. Because this one, oh, we're going to need a little circle to hold this together too. So I have this little 1 inch punch, and I have scrap paper just sitting around, so I'm just going to do, oh, look at that. Something else I've been playing with. This thing was full of 1/2 inch circles. Oh, I was trying to create a treat box in a triangular shape that could have an end to it, like a candy wrapper end. And I just couldn't figure it out, so I gave it up. Okay, so I am going to glue that like that. So I just have that little tab. I'm going to put some hot glue on it. You can make it just like the yo-yo. I'm just using scrap right now. Fold that together and give it a good press. Some glue's coming out. My hot glue says cool shot on it so it doesn't get burning hot, which is, for a $3 glue gun, that is the nicest feature, because my Aleene's glue gun, I could never touch that. It would burn the crud out of my fingers. Let's just make sure I'm on the right. Yeah, we can do it like that. And you'll see how imperfect my cutting was, and I still went with it. So don't worry about if your strip isn't quite an inch, it'll still work. So I'm just pushing that, giving it a good press. Glue is oozing out, and I'm just wiping it away. So I'm going to trim off this little, I had a problem with my trimmer. I didn't line up my paper completely, and I didn't get a proper 1 inch. But I did not throw that away and cut again. I said, oh, I can make that work. All right, so on the back side again, we're going to put that circle I punched out. Now, come on, come on. It's a little bit harder because it's a lot smaller. So, and my man hands are in the way, so I'm just going to put a good glob of glue right there. And take my little circle, and we are going to smush that in. There we go. We're going to hold, ooh. This should all come off my mat pretty easy. There. Doesn't matter what the back side looks like. Then we're gonna put, we can stamp a sentiment, or we could put a bat. So this is what we have over here. So this, what I do is, I might have said it earlier, I take out a stamp set. Sometimes I sit there and I watch TV and I start playing with it. So what I was doing, because in my little setup right here, I have my die cut machine right off to the side, and I have a heat gun already plugged in, ready to go. And I just sit around. These are just some scrap pieces. I sit around and I start creating with all the little toys. And so these were bats. These were my first try on the bats, and you can see I didn't get as good as I should have, because there's a lot of, like, my bat stamping missed, or the die cut missed the right. So what I learned is, okay, so when you die cut these, you really want to tape them down so they don't move. So, because that's how these all came out much better. And then I tried these and I was like, they're so white, that's not Halloween-y. So then I looked at the catalog and the samples, and I said, oh, because they're really doing them not on white paper with black ink, they're doing them on black paper and embossing. So that's how we got to this point. So, and then I saw the spiders, and I said, and some people did the spiders in purple, and some people did the spiders in like granny apple green. Oh my gosh, those look so cute. So I go on Pinterest and I look and see how other people are creating things. And then what I do is I keep them all in a little container while I'm creating with that set, and then so I can put things on. So I have things already ready to go when I'm designing. So we could put like that flower on there, and the center of it would cover it, but a spider or a bat, or I was even that sentiment's kind of big. This sentiment I was thinking of putting in the center here, but let's try, or the spider. I'm voting the spider. I hope you're voting with me. So I'm going to use the hot glue gun because of the dimensions in that yo-yo. There we go. that is. Now, who would say that's not a witch's hat? Right? And then what we would do, we're not going to do it yet, but this is going to go somewhere like that on the hat, or even on the tilted, right? So next step is to add we want to close up this gap between the hat and this cone and this yo-yo around it. So we're going to use that, I have two things in mind. Put away all my little toys. So I already die cutted everything I was going to need because I didn't want this video to be super long. So I thought we could put some of this, it's like coffin fencing, I guess. Some of that, not coffin, but graveyard fencing. So I was thinking of this, but then when I saw we could do that too, putting that on the front of her hat, remember how like the buckles were back in the old days? So we could do that. I like this, but then there's this pretty stamp. See that whole thing right here? That is designed to fit around this cutout, and it's really pretty, especially if you emboss it. That would be pretty. So I don't know, but this is really pretty too, but this would bring out that Blackberry Bliss paper, or we could use it in the orange, like the card I did earlier was in Craven. I want to say Cajun Craven. Boy, Jen, that's bad. Anyways, well, we're digressing again. So I wanted to put, I was going to see if I needed more fencing, but I was thinking of putting some fencing around the base here along with that mesh. So let's see what we can create. I might need some more fencing. Nope, looks like it's going to be enough. So I just cut out 2.5 strips of it, a little more than half. I think that was 12 inches of paper, and I just cut as many pieces, as much as I could fit in that 12 inch by 1 inch strip. Okay, so what am I thinking right now? Oh, that's what I was thinking right now. Okay, so let's pull out a good portion of this. And then what we could do is we could just come in and we can tuck it. We can, you know, squat it down. We could do multiple layers. If you had the glitter mesh ribbon stuff that they sell at the craft stores, you would have to wad it down. So what I did on my original sample is I gathered it in 2 places and let it billow, and then I tucked some in around the frill. So we could do all that with this one as well too. We could start, maybe we'll start down here. So what I would suggest at this point is find your back. So I'm going to say right here, that's going to be the back of my hat. So I'm going to start with that. I don't want to be that a pinch site. I want that to be, so for this center part, I want that to be a wide part, because then it would be wide in the front, right? So we're going to do halfway over here, we're going to do a dot of glue. Hope you can see that. So I'm just going to, and you might want maybe this spatula end on the take your pick tool and just shove it down there against the hot glue. Just so enough of it gets adhered and it's not sticking up. That's kind of what I did. Okay, and then you could just have it tuck in every like 4 times. See how I'm going to billow that out? Or make it tighter. Like we could have it tight and then come around Maybe we'll do that. So we know that, and we'll tuck in between the two, and then we'll come around a second time. Or we can come around with that graveyard fencing. Then I'm going to wish this was in the back. So let me lift that off. Nope. Okay. Yeah, maybe that's where our yo-yo will be, so no one will notice that that wasn't supposed to be there. And let's trim our thing. Give me a moment and I'll make sure you see what I did. So I'm going to tuck that down, and then I'm going to take my pick tool again with that spatula end, and I'm just shoving the raw edge of my ribbon inside. And this is metal, so that glue isn't really sticking to it. So that's how it looks. So now my mesh is just down inside between the purple and the orange papers. So then what I was thinking we could do right now is we could take this, I'm calling this coffin fencing, and we could stick that in there right on top like that. And what we could do is just stick some glue inside and then just let this sit in here. It doesn't have to rest against the hat. You know what I'm saying? So it could be free from the hat. Can you see how that's giving it lift? So it's, I think I like that. And then we could add some more, we could bulk in here some more with the silver mesh. So let's go ahead and add the graveyard fencing. There, I'll see if I can tilt it up like that. All right, I think hot. See, the Tombow is just gonna take too long to dry. So let me just try putting some hot glue in the canal. There we go. Let's see what we're getting, and then we'll stick the fencing in there. And I'll pull up on the mesh. Let's see if we can pull it out a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, I think that's working. So that's how I'm doing it. I'm using, set this aside. Much adhesive out. Let me pull this in so we don't get this covered in glue. Hi. I'm doing a Facebook Live. Good night. Good night. That's my son saying good night to me. Okay, so now we're gonna put this other strip of graveyard fencing in here, and I'm gonna hot glue the canal again. So all I'm doing is letting the hot glue pour in between the two the hat and the purple. So between the orange and the purple. And I'm not gonna worry if some glue shows because we have a lot of stuff we can add to the hat for decoration. We can make more of those yo-yos the flower yo-yo. And so decorating the hat's not the problem. So I think that silver is really giving the hat a little flair, don't you think? Like, This witch is cool. Alright, so that's how it's coming out. I am trying to pick up pieces of the hot glue that's extra. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the back piece. So this, I can't really give you dimensions because your cone of your hat is a different size than my cone of my hat because it's based on how you twisted your paper to make your cone and how tight or relaxed you let your paper be on your cone. Does that make sense? So I can't really say how much graveyard fencing you're going to need to get it around your hat because your hat is a little bit different than my hat. Now, the problem I am encountering right now is that knot that we created. So I'm going to cut my fence in half. And I'm just going to put it in. That's alright, so I'm going to add the hot glue in the little canal again. Oh, another glue stick again. Go, and then I'm going to come back and glue these sides together. Then I'm just going to do the same thing right in here. Put some glue in my canal, and I'm going to trim off this posting because that post is already on there. Big. And I'm going to need some help sliding that in a little bit more. So again, this didn't come out perfectly, but that's kind of where we're putting that one yo-yo, so So this is what we're going to do to hide that one spot. So this witch's hat's really coming out cute. Then what you might want to do is go back in and glue your fence posting together or trim it to make it work. This one spot needs a little trim. Those little, there. So I would stick this here, but I'm going to still wait because if I want to wrap anything else around here, the yo-yo is going to create a nightmare of a mess. And then we can just stick that a little bit of glue on there. I'm going to glue it to the rest. Not to a hat. Okay, so next I want to put on, alright, so we're going to do this guy. So if I do this and I do that thing in silver, I just think that'll look really pretty with this hat. So this is what I'm thinking about. So if we do this, like, imagine that there, imagine that, I could even put that where it gathers, but I don't want that there. Imagine this, there we go. Not so easy to show you guys. Okay, so imagine this like that, and we're gonna leave it sticking up. Put it above the silver. And then the black rosette right there. What do you think? I think that's cute. And then what I want is have some black, like baker's twine. And I was thinking we could stick some spiders and some baker's twine coming out of the top of the hat. So let's, and then we could add some bats to the body of the hat. So let's, all right, so I'm gonna do the stamp the way I said I was. I'm gonna use the Blackberry Bliss instead of, I need a flat surface thing. Usually I have a scraper in here, but who knows, you know, what's in there one minute is not in there the next. Okay, so I'm going to have to emboss because this is dark paper. I'm going to use this and the Happy Halloween. And that's my dog barks at the base of the stairs because you have to go over there and tell her to go down the stairs. It's very annoying. I don't know why I have to tell her to go down the stairs. She wants to go down the stairs, but she waits there and barks until I tell her, till I get up and go over there and tell her, go down the stairs, please. Okay, so what we're going to use is the Versamark, and we're going to use the silver embossing, and I sit with a fan, so I have to turn off my fan, otherwise I get embossing powder everywhere. Okay, so I'll bring you down so you can watch. Move you up so you can see. Okay, so Versamark, to me it's a cross between an ink and a glue, and I like to do this one first, and this image is a little big, so I'm putting the ink upside down, so you won't see any ink with the Versamark. And then what I'm doing is I'm aligning it. I guess normally you would die cut it already, or wouldn't have die cut it yet. So I'm gonna lay it on like so. So I'm just gonna hold it. I don't want to shift it. There. And hopefully I didn't shift it just now. Okay, so that came out good. So you can you see the shine? All right, so that's wet Versamark. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add embossing powder to that. But first, I'm gonna stamp the Happy Halloween right in here too. Okay, and then get my stamp squeegee somewhere. Interesting. Not really. So, there it is. I wanted to get my stamps cleaned before the Versamark starts drying. Okay, so now, all right, so now we're going to take, I like to pour my embossing powder when I get it. I take it out of the jar and I put it in this little container. I saw a lot of demonstrators do this. And it's really nice because, you know, when you emboss, you probably use a piece of paper or one of those big plastic contraptions to get all your embossing powder back into the jar. Oh, you know what? That did not stamp well. Look at all that. Oh well, it'll look fine, I think. So, I have kind of a double image going. But I don't know if it's bothering me that much. Well, I need to brush off. So I just use a brush I have because I didn't put powder on it before. Okay, and then we're gonna turn on my heat tool, and I like to have something hold it while I emboss because it gets really hot. To get to see that. Oh, Julie Van Dyke is watching. Thank you, Julie. I haven't seen Julie in so long. She's been busy being a grandma. She got 3 little ones now. She used to be my next door neighbor, and then we moved away. Best neighbor in the world, the Van Dykes. So this is going to be part of my hat brim. And we'll stick that up on with some dimensionals. But I'm afraid with that glitter that we'll try the dimensionals, and if they don't stick enough, we're going to have to, we'll add some wet adhesive or something. May or may not be enough. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. There we go. Look at that. Okay, I gotta turn the fan back on because I get hot. In Las Vegas, it's very hot. Okay, so here we are with our hat again. Oh, I better come back up so you guys can see my hat. All right, and then with that one area on our side, I think we'd stick it like about right. I want it in that fencing if I can. And I want to curve it just a little bit. How about right there? So we could use wet adhesive, hot glue, or Stampin' Seal. We're going for we have the hot glue out, and we know it won't ever come off with that, so just want a little curve in there. Oop, I'm not on center. There we go. I don't want it to curve the whole time, but I do want a little curve. Okay, so I'm going to leave it sticking out like that. Kind of reminds me of a pilgrim's hat. And then we're gonna put our little rosette, that's what these are called, on the side. But we could put some more, I think I want some more of this looping around my rosette, but not a lot of looping, just a little bit of looping. Maybe that's enough looping. Just want to make a piece. Maybe I'll even cut them into strips so I get my, not a lot of looping. I just want 3 loops on the back. So I'm just going to put some hot glue on the perimeter of that circle, and I'm just going to stick these on the edge, and they're going to stick just fine with that hot glue right there. And I'm just getting a little bit of looping. Oop, please don't tell me that dried. It dried. That one's kind of big, so I'm going to try to do both sides. And then when I come in and bring it down, it's going to look something like that. It's just adding some texture behind the rosette for our flower. And then we're just going to glue it like that. So I'm going to put big circumference of the glue, and I'm going to stick it right there. Now you can see some of the silver mesh here. And okay, and then I'm not into both sides even kind of thing, but we could easily add another rosette or even a smaller rosette, 2 little small rosettes right there too. That would be cute, maybe in the burgundy or something. Okay, so then what I wanted to do, I'm gonna lay the hat like this. I want to, where is that twine? I have some black Halloween twine. Well, it's just black twine. It's nothing to do with Halloween other than the fact I bought it to use with my Halloween goodies. Oh, you know what I came across? Some shimmer trim. Don't ask me where I got it. I don't know. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I wanted, and this is a little wide. Maybe we can just fold it in half. Okay, so if we took, oh, it's sticky. Oh, we definitely fold that in half. I didn't know that. Okay, so I came across this shimmer trim. So I'm gonna just fold it in half, and it's like a tape, so it's actually gonna stick to itself. Because I was looking for some black baker's twine. This isn't very good because it's creasing white, but maybe we can add some ink too. I don't know. Let me look for my baker's twine stuff. I'd have to show you guys what my craft room looks like so you'd understand why when I say looking for something, it's not a great idea. I don't want you guys ever to see my craft room because then you'd know how much stuff I have. Oh, it's so funny. Or so not funny. Oh well. We'll make this stuff work. Not what I wanted, but You know, I have some black and white, but I wonder where I stuck that stuff. Oh, I don't. I just can't think where I put the. It's big holder of black string. Anyways, this is what I ended up finding, so I'm gonna we could do a bunch. I wanted string, but I'm gonna just keep wanting string. You know how you are when you want something and you're just not gonna settle? I just wonder where I put all those embellishments I had. I'm trying to put everything that's not Stampin' Up away, because I'm not, oh, because if it's not Stampin' Up, what is it? Oh, this is all my chipboard. Wondered how much stuff I had. That's just chipboard cut pieces. Yep. Oh, we have some silver string even would work good, but who votes on that? I think that's not gonna work it. Nope. Where else would I have kept that? Me and my Halloween. Oh, I did. Haha. Okay, found it. It was in my Halloween supplies. It's more like a black jute than baker's twine, but it's gonna cut probably 3, because remember we do everything in 3s, but I might have to then make some more spiders. Let's see how many little spiders I have in here. In my little box of goodies. Oh, well, wouldn't make sense to have bats on a string, would it? I have 2. Ooh, I have 3. Okay. Well, I was hoping to be fancy and do them on both sides, but I think I will do the back sides off camera. So maybe what we can do is knot all 3 together and shove them into the hat, and then we'll layer cut. Oops, I only got 2 in there. So I'm gonna knot all 3 of these together, just one of those simple knots, and I'm gonna shove them in through the tip of the hat. I don't know if you can see. It's under the light, but I can't tell if it's under the camera too. So anyways, there's like a 10-second delay from when I do something to when it shows up on Facebook. Okay, so I just put a simple knot, and I'm gonna poke that in through the tip using, I'm gonna use this pointed end of the take your pick tool. Let's get the tails in there. And we'll, we might use the knot as the glue tip, like, because it might not go in any further than what I get in there right now. Because I don't think this knot's going to fit in my tip. If your knot fits all the way in, see my knot, it's not going to go past. Use the hot glue and seal it at that point. I'm going to use the knot as the seal. And or I would use a wet adhesive. I'm actually gonna touch this tip, but I have this cool shot so my fingers aren't burning from the hot glue. There we go. So what I have here are 3, oh, did you see me just rip that right back up? Let's put that in a little bit more. There we go. Okay, hopefully that'll stay. And then we have 3 dangling strings. I'm not going to be able to put the spiders on right here because I want to make sure that they're, I need something to tilt it so you guys can see what I'm doing. Alright, so this is the front of my hat, and I'm just going to start pulling on the strings. Kind of get that crease out. And then I want them to be 3 different lengths. And then, so about here, here, and here. And then hopefully, I have 4 of these spiders, so we'll do at least one we'll be able to see, or maybe we'll spider up 2 of them, and we'll see how they're weighting it down. So let's try the longest one, and definitely the hot glue would be good. So I'm just going to make a sandwich basically with the string inside. It's easier with the spider that has the glue. Okay, so there we go. No, it wasn't quite heavy enough. I can take the nozzle of the hot glue and heat it up like a straightener. Oh yeah, that relaxed it. So, there we go. And then we're going to try the same thing. So let's try relaxing these threads with the tip of my hot glue gun. And let's see if we can. So I'll only get to, I'll do 2 of them, and I'll have to stamp and emboss 2 more spiders. So we're gonna get that body a good glob of glue and take the next longest one, I think, and gonna stick. I'm just sandwiching 2 spiders together with the string inside. Kind of picking off the extra hot glue that's oozed out. You could use a liquid adhesive, it's just not going to dry as fast, so keep that in mind. But there we go, we got 2. So unless you really want to watch me make 2 more spiders, emboss them, and stick them on, we're going to call this hat pretty much done. I don't know. I hope you guys like the hat. I hope you guys think it came out cute. I think it came out pretty cute. I wish I didn't sandwich the spider very good. I might have to take him apart again and redo it. Anyways, on my Facebook, on my YouTube channel, if you want to watch this again, you can catch it in Facebook, but I know it's easier to find on my YouTube channel. And if you happen to go over to my YouTube channel, please remember to like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And I hope you had a great night tonight. And remember to order that paper pumpkin before September 10th, because you won't be sorry. Have a good night. Talk to you later. Bye.